Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and very good day. I bid to Dr. Rosalini and also Dr. Abdul Muhaimin. My name is Muhammad Arifuddin bin Rahmat and today my meeting number is 199380 and today I'm going to share about EMP4901 Industrial Training that I have been enrolled to. I choose TNB Research SDN BHD under the Regulatory and Environment Science RES unit, and I undergo my training, industrial training, from 28 February 2022 until 12 August 2022. So without any further ado, let's move on to the content of my presentation. So the content I divided into 4 main content, which is number 1 is introduction, number 2 is about tasks and activities, number 3 is about my reflection, and lastly about the recommendation, also conclusion. For the introduction to industry, I have enrolled for my internship period in TNB Research. So TNB Research is situated at Sungai Merap, Selangor, which is about 10 minutes or 15-minute drive from UPM, quite near. And TNB Research held a motto, which is a leading innovative research and sustainable energy solution provider globally. So in TNB Research, they focus on renewable and green tech, smart grid, asset management, power generation, sustainable environment, and also TNB Labs. Moving on to my unit, which is RES unit. So in our unit, we have 3 main sections, which is limnology and oceanography section, regulatory and bioremediation section, and also physicochemical section. And this is my industry supervisor, goes by the name of Puan Nurrasani binti Ahmad Habis. She acts as a researcher, executive, and she also held a portfolio of assistant project manager for social impact management plan for the Negeri hydroelectric project. So moving on to the personal objective for my industry training. Number 1 is I want to train my communication skill and build a positive working connection with employees and also staff. Number 2, I want to perform ethically and professionally when complying to policies, regulation, and norms of an organization. Number 3 is I want to assess my abilities and skill as well as be exposed to the actual world of employment. So this is my first task as an intern during my industrial period training. So tree counting and asset valuation. So tree counting and asset valuation is an activity to compensate orang asli because their land and also their home, their plantation have been included in the Negeri hydroelectric power plant. So TNB need to compensate them, and thus we need to carry out tree counting and asset valuation activity. So tree counting activity is under social impact management service at TNB Research, and only the listed trees and plantation under the list of Jabatan Penilaian and Perkhidmatan Harta (JPPH) will be counted and recorded. So other trees that out of the list will not be counted. So when doing tree counting, the data recorded consists of few data such as the type of tree, the age of the tree, and the number of tree respectively, the number of species. And this data will be determined and verified by a competent person. So the raw data obtained will be sorted manually and segregated accordingly before we key in the Microsoft Excel. So the landowners or the representative of the family of orang asli need to come to our campus and verify it and sign a form to verify and that is this document is valid, because this is important because they will determine the number of compensation that they will get in the future. So next is environmental monitoring section, EMS at Negeri. So EMS is a monitoring activity or task that we conducted monthly and usually in the early of each month. So this monitoring section will be conducted during 3 main phases of the construction, which is before or pre-construction phase, during construction phase, and also after or post-construction phase. So there are few parameters that we conduct, such as noise level monitoring, water quality sampling, noise and vibration monitoring, gases and particles monitoring, weather station monitoring. And the result from data monitored and collected will be submitted in the form of report to TNB headquarters as a monthly basis. So this task is very important because we need to make sure there is no excessive environmental disturbance to the local communities when the Nigiri project is ongoing. So next is I joined Wildlife Management Session or WMS regarding inventory and wildlife rescue at Plot B. So Plot B is an area near to Post Behind, and this area is they have no coverage of line and also electrical supply. So we only use radio transmitted device and generator as our electrical supply. So this task is carried out to figure out the population health and the type of wildlife present in the area of Plot B. And we have collaborated with Pelitan because Pelitan, we know, is one of our nation expertise in wildlife and rescue tasks. And for the first week, we managed to do a site recce and survey, whereby we set our traps and we also fabricating our traps handmade, special made for triggerless and moss deer species. If you can see, the wooden traps, this is the trap for triggerless and moss deer, where the Pelitan and us did handmade. So for the second week, we mainly observing trap. We did a bed change, surveying, and also setting up a camera trap. So for surveying, we did a night survey starting from 10 p.m. until 12 p.m. During our night survey, we managed to bump into Sunda flying lemur and also small toothed palm civet, whereby we found them on top of trees. And for the total sample size we did for inventory and wildlife rescue, it's actually sad because we only get various species of rodents and only total of 2 triggerless. And the triggerless we have transfer them to National Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, WNRC, in Sungai Perak for rehabilitation purpose. The reason why the sample size is small and not much wildlife is being observed because at Plot B there is an ongoing logging activity, because at Plot B there will be a new residential area for the honestly composition in the future. Then I went to installation of camera trap at general area. So general area also part of Plot B. During the installation of camera trap, we managed to set up a total of 6 camera trap around general area with the help of UKM representative. So before we set the camera trap, we need to do an area survey to identify animal tracks or mineral salt leak, and we need to set the camera trap exact and proportional to the track. And when strapping the camera trap to the tree, the height of the camera trap is so important. And this is due according to our targeted species. If we want to we target for a smaller species, so we set the camera lower. For the middle species, higher, and for large species, the camera trap will be higher on the trees. This is because you need to have a better quality and meaningful footage for identifying and tagging process. So the camera trap will be left for around 2 weeks before the data will be collected. Next, I went to installation work of electrical fence at TNB Bukit Selambor Solar. This is also under the WMS section. So TNB Bukit Selambor Solar is basically a 30 megawatt solar power plant equipped with 134,880 solar photovoltaic panels and also 14 inverters. So this is in the district of Sungai Petani, Kedah. We are called upon to TNBSS because there have been a report of threat and disturbance caused by wild macaque around the solar site. So this wild macaque, they trespassed into the site and they went into between the solar panel and disturb the wiring and also the control panel. So we need to they need to be a mitigation measure to avoid the trespassing of the wire markup. So we decided to install a electric fence around the site, and there have been identified 3 hotspots, which is site A, site B, and site C. Site A consists of 800 meters straight line, site B and site C 50 straight line respectively. So for the electrical fan, we use a wooden poles 3 feet in height and 1 inch in diameter, equipped with 3 wood post insulator clip to clip the steel wire. And during the installation, we managed to did a brief discussion along with representative of UKM. So the representative of UKM is conducting research on wire markup. And during the installation, there also have been challenges, which is the improper maintenance of vegetation and shrubs alongside our work site. So it slowed us down. And for the finishing work, we installed the outdoor electrical box that equipped with battery, solar controller, solar energizer, and circuit breaker box. Next, this is a site activity that we do, which is for the WD training and off-road course. Basically, this workshop is about driving course and how to handle for the WD support tools. This is because due to our nature of work that we need to deal with off-road and extreme terrain. And this workshop show us demonstration on the usage of manual winch using a high lift jack, and also the install car winch at the highlight. Then that we also did an off-road driving test accompanied by for the video instructor and teach us how to handle the vehicle in off-road condition. And we also did a written test that basically asking question about car component, the support tools, and also the specification of the car. And last but not least is laboratory training on sample preservation and preparation. So we have this is a very brief training. We attend a brief lab training on the sample preservation and preparation, whereby we refresh the proper way of using lab apparatus and equipment. And we also take note on the safety precaution when handling chemical and also lab apparatus. We also learn on the best management practice, BMP, whenever we are in the lab. Moving on is about reflection from industry training, my personal reflection. So for the relation, I am very proud because I am involved in the mega project of Negeri Hydroelectric Power Plant, NCP. And the challenge faced that I managed to identify is I lack of hands-on and practical work. And for the solution, I am open to gain new knowledge by asking for advice and practical example and demonstration, be it from the executive or technician. And I also think I achieved my goals in learning new knowledge on various sections such as the EMS, WMS, and also socio section. And I also think I improved and discovered new self-potential by doing tasks that I never did before. And yeah, I think I achieved my goals. As for the recommendation and conclusion, I think for the recommendation, UPM or our faculty could make a list of potential company or organization that have been proven to from the previous batch. They have been giving opportunities and chance to the intern student to explore the real working environment and their self-potential, discover their self-potential. And I think our faculty also can conduct an early exposure sharing session for the student before they go and choose their respective company and organization for their industrial training. This is because different students have different working pattern and different work culture and different interests in sector of environment. So before they go and choose their company without knowing their self potential, maybe we can do a sharing session whereby we could pick out potential individual and suggest what company or organization that they could choose to explore their self potential more. And for conclusion, I think the importance of EMP4901 Industrial Training for all final students is proven because it help us in be ready in physically and mentally, and also being exposed to the real working environment. And as for intern students, the opportunities and chance that have been given to trainee students should not go to waste, and we need to make full use of it. And we should maximize the knowledge that we gain during our study year into completing any task given by the company or organization or our supervisor. I think that's all. Thank you and have a great day. With that, thank you.